I want to talk to you about my friend Charlie Crawford. He's a 10-time NFR qualifier.
Charlie Crawford, time to just shake it out and win. Got it on him fast, set
there
up.
We are.
Here's a day
nice
money
run.
lead. You betcha 3-8.
That's an absolute perfect run. Timing was perfect from the time the first swing is up. He's got the control. Charlie made it happen by being timed up with his horse with the steer, and being able to not just rope, but to pick that steer's head up without changing the momentum for the heeler at all.
We know his beautiful wife, Jackie, all three of their beautiful children, the founder of the Liberty and Loyalty Foundation, which this year will exceed $1 million raised for military and first responders. I've said it 1,000 times. Charlie, it's time to rope, nod and ride, whip and spur. I want to welcome you to the Charlie Crawford Podcast. Let's ride.
Brian, man, what's happening, buddy?
I don't know it, Charlie. Another day in paradise here.
It's good to have you back on, brother.
Good to be here. Thank you for that.
Lots happened for the last time we had this podcast talk.
It's been a whirlwind.
It's been awesome.
Sure has.
Man, I love to talk about you, where you just came from. Been up there at the PAFRA event up there in Clovis, New Mexico, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then made the move from North Carolina over here to Leisureville here in Stephenville, Texas.
Yes, sir.
And then had a pretty good summer run.
I did.
And retirement.
Yes, sir.
And then we'll talk about getting ready for this year's American Hero celebration. So got us a full episode right here. But, man, talk about coming back from PAFRA. You went up there to Clovis. Explain to everybody what is PAFRA and what is that, to kind of talk about what that event represents.
Okay, PAFRA is the Professional Armed Forces Rodeo Association. This was their 25th year, their 25th anniversary finals in Clovis, New Mexico, there at the Curry County Event Center. It's open to all active duty, retired veterans from any branch of service. It also allows for their wives and dependents to enter the events. So it's a very family-oriented organization. It's fun to watch. You have kids running barrels, kids learning to rope, breakaway. So it's a great event, I have to admit.
That is pretty cool with the families all there. I like that.
And this was the first time my family actually got to go with me.
Oh, nice.
This is my third year going to PAFRA, and it took me 5 hours to get there instead of 25.
Yeah.
So it was more convenient for the wife and daughter to come, and they had a ball.
How'd you rope?
I rode great. I spun two good steers.
Awesome.
But it just didn't, in the end, it just didn't work out this year.
You came to that clinic this spring in Decatur, and man, a lot of it's been so cool to see the improvements that you've made. A lot with, I would say, emotions.
Yes, sir.
You know, with when you would ride, it was almost like the SWAT team. Yes. You know, just a lot of intensity. Like to me, like now, you're so much more relaxed, and I would say confidence probably a little bit too, where you can kind of relax, because I think too is I don't know if I'd say confidence, but like I think understanding that when you're roping, to be able to have feel, a guy can't have too much of that adrenaline, and it is adrenaline. It is. You know, especially for a lot of guys like this, you know, that are adrenaline driven, but you can't have too much adrenaline on a 6-foot putt. You know, there's got to be some feel, some breathing and stuff. And I think what's hard is the fact that you're on a horse. So it creates a lot of anxiety, like creates a lot of adrenaline, but to be able to control that adrenaline so you can still have feel of when to leave, when to rate your horse off, how to still feel your rope. So there has to be that balance. And man, to see where you've come and watched you rope the other day, even when you came to the house, just where everything's relaxed and you're getting up there, like that's not easy for a lot of people to do, especially they're very adrenaline driven.
Yes, sir. And I attribute a lot of it to getting a new horse. That was a step up, and I've got to be real easy with him. He's very sensitive, so I'm learning to ride. And give a shout out to my buddy Dakota, who took the horse and worked him and figured him out and taught me how to ride him. And now I just everything's just a little more easy.
Yeah.
And like you said, I'm a lot more relaxed, and I know when I nod, I've got a chance to go catch him.
And that's what's hard too, is when a guy creates a lot of that energy, because there's so much adrenaline. When after you nod to get to that steer, is that for a lot of that energy not to come down to your legs, because that energy goes down, and you know what's underneath of you is the horse. So when to create a lot of that energy, then they feel that energy as well, and sometimes that can be more than they can handle.
And it was, I almost sold the horse. And Dakota Limbo, my buddy, he took him down to San Antonio when I was making trips back and forth to North Carolina. He said, I'm interested in buying your horse. He said, let me take him and ride him till you get back. And I was like, okay, great. And he did. And he called me. He said, man, you got a good horse. He said, I'll let you know. Come to find out, he had no intentions of buying my horse. He was just doing me the biggest favor in the world.
Nice.
He kept him legged up. And when I got back to Stephenville, he brought him to me, and we've been rocking ever since.
Nice. Well, how'd the roping go over there at the Pafra?
It went good. I spun
Send me the videos. Look good.
Yeah.
Swing's looking good.
Thank you.
It the online course that you talked about one time too that you'd gotten said it did help.
Yeah.
But I can see how much difference, like where the open and like where your swing was pretty in front of you and pretty tight, where it looks more opened up now.
It is, and it was all visual from the videos because you kept telling me open your swing up, and I'd sit there in my mind and I'd be like, Charlie, I have no idea what you mean by open it up. It's a loop. There's a hole in it. It's open. And you would explain it. I still wouldn't. It just didn't click until I downloaded the video. And when you break it down second by second, and I can see that angle, when you stand behind the steer with your hands and show the students, hey, this is top, bottom. When I can feel myself going back to pushing my loop, I go back and watch that video.
Yeah.
And it just sets it in my mind again.
Because that's one of the things that I remembered as a young kid. I used to fall asleep to watching Jake Barnes and Clay O'Brien Cooper's The Winning Edge VHS tape back then, and just would watch them runs over and over and emulate every swing movement that Jake Barnes did. And visuals is like, to me, is a big part of winning, because like I can explain to you with my hand right here, this around this circle is what opens your swing up, and even put it in my hand. But then when a guy can slow-mo it over a drone and the different GoPros that you can see and angles, to me, then that's when I think a guy can use technology to develop better visuals instead of trying to explain it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
that helped me a lot when I was a young kid, being able to emulate what I saw.
Yes. And seeing it just puts it back in my mind. Okay, now I know I got to slow down just a little bit and let that tip catch up and get out there and get it underneath that right home.
How much does it help, do you feel like, when it's right there in your hand, like in an app on your phone where you can watch it and then be able to rope the dummy?
Oh, yeah, because like if you're out there at the jackpot and you got your dummy out and you split the horns a couple times, you're like, this ain't a way to start the day.
Heck, I never thought about having it at a jackpot. Forgot all about that.
You just break it out and say, oh, I got to get that tip down just a little bit and just wait on it to catch up.
Yeah, I was thinking about almost just being out in the barn. I forgot about.
Yeah,
good thinking about at the jackpot. Yeah,
because it just resets your mind. It's like having a coach there saying, "Hey, let's try this right quick before you head in there."
Well, awesome. Well, I bet the Pafra was good, kind of a good warmer upper for a lot of guys too coming up.
Yeah,
for the events coming up this fall. So fall's a good happening time for a lot of the military guys getting to get some roping in, huh?
Yes, sir, it is.
I'm excited too. Is that this spring we're branching off another military event. So for everyone to start keeping track, I haven't come out with it publicly yet, but we are going to have we're bringing a military first responder roping back to Stephenville. We're going to continue to keep having our celebration here in Decatur. Everything's going to stay the same with what we have with American Hero Celebration in November. But in April of next year, we're bringing an event which I call Battle of the Branches. And we're going to have some numbered ropings so then that everyone can show up. Kind of like, I really, really like the Spicer Grip where they have the numbered ropings and money added, limited teams. I feel like we can bring that here to Stephenville, but then also for the military and first responders to have a roping that would be a lot of fun. So we get to see the sparring between Army and Marines and police and firefighters and let the shit talking begin, where we basically just have a battle of the branches. And I think for the military, it would be so much fun. So that's a third weekend in April for everyone to start setting their calendars and look for more information to be coming out on social media, Liberty and Loyalty, Facebook, on some of the up and coming events that we're going to start doing. That's going to be one of them. So I can only imagine.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah. The crap talking now between Shane and Bill has been great, because I think now is if whoever wins or whoever loses, I think maybe has to carry the Space Force flag or something like.
You bring the Space Force flag up. Wade Crenshaw, buddy of ours, ambassador, he volunteered and manned up and carried the Space Force flag at AFRA when they wouldn't let him carry his Army flag.
Nice. That's
Tommy
awesome.
Evans, another Army vet, rode in behind him, said, I can't let you do it by yourself. And so they represented the Space Force.
I love it.
I have video proof of it.
I love it. So yeah, that one's going to be fun. But man, how cool is it that, for one, what made you want to move to Stephenville? But to be able to go from North Carolina to Stephenville, what do you think it was that was the appeal to come here?
Well, my original plan was to go west of here toward Abilene and Lubbock so I could run more cattle. And 2 years ago, when me and the wife were at your house, before we left to go to Guyman, and we headed through West Texas, and she was like, this is kind of where you want to go? And I was like, yeah, we're heading this way. And I really liked it at Charlie's. I really liked the area. And she's like, what do you want to do? I said, I just want to rope. She said, I don't see much roping arenas out here. I don't see much pens. I said, you're right. She said, then why don't we move to Stephenville? And it was just meant to be, because then we started looking, and the house is done as of this afternoon, and we can move in tomorrow.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you think about the culture, like for me is, I think when so many young kids come here, because this is where all the guys are at, so the opportunity is here. But you think about a lot of the guys that are coming, moving here, that the amount of ropings that go on at 377, the ropings this fall just with the Kojo, the Clay Logan, I mean, you name it. There's going to be so many pre-ropings before Vegas out here this time of year. The weather starts letting up and is good. But, you can walk into a restaurant with your full cowboy gear on.
Nobody,
and
that's enough.
It's just part of our culture.
Yes, sir.
How much different is that when you feel like it's in North Carolina? I guess it probably depends on certain parts of where you're at.
Certain parts, but there's nothing. It's totally different down here. I've had several buddies visit since we've started building and come down. I had some come and rope. I've had some of my retired cop buddies come down, and it's you describe it to them, and they get down here and they say, I see what you're saying. Because you could count the trailers going up and down the road, and it's all day, every day, from a $300,000 bloomer to a half top with a cowboy rig, and you see them all. And so this is, when they call it the cowboy capital of the world, they weren't lying.
Hey, friends, if you're looking for something that inspires grit, creativity, and good old-fashioned hard work, you've got to check out Ezra Tech Ranch Gear. This isn't just another brand. It's a group of homeschooled teenagers who are learning to enterprise, building real skills, and producing high-quality gear that stands up to ranch life and beyond right here in Texas. Each piece is hand-tooled by these young men and women themselves, and the craftsmanship speaks for itself. Their truck scabbard? It's their top seller. Rugged, practical, and built to last. If you're looking for something unique for your business, they even create custom corporate gifts with your company logo. And here's what I love. Every purchase not only gets you gear you can count on, but it also supports the next generation of entrepreneurs who are learning what it takes to work hard, create value, and build something meaningful with their own two hands. Whether you're a rancher, a business owner, or just someone who loves quality American-made gear, check out Ezra Tech Ranch Gear at EzraTechGear.com. To get a 10% discount, use promo code CHARLIE10. That's CHARLY 10. EzraTechGear.com, where craftsmanship meets enterprise and the future is being built one tool at a time. Yeah, and I see too where man, there's so many guys that I see coming. I mean, just like Shane and you and Bill, and there's so many guys now that just kind of stay around this culture, and you're watching them, especially being retired, like where you're at and Bill, but you guys are getting better each year.
Yes, sir.
And it's hard to do when you're kind of out there by yourself in certain places. You're the only ones roping, or if it's limited places to go rope. But here, you think about all the places you probably got to, since you've been in Stephenville, you got all the places you got to go rope.
Well, the people I've got to rope with.
Yeah.
That, when the iron sharpens irons, it's true. When you look over and T. Woolman's your healer, makes you want to go catch that steer.
Yeah, getting to go rope at Brays, and
oh yeah,
and Shane being around here, getting to go rope, and that's what it seems like is fun. Is that you get more like-mindedness here. Yes. It's a bubble for sure, but it's a bubble I enjoy being in.
Me too.
Otherwise, you're in another bubble. I feel like
daughter's thriving down here. It's a different culture, and I mean, we could go into the fine details, but I think everybody out there knows what I'm talking about.
I like what Kid Rock says. You go where you're celebrated, not tolerated.
Amen.
This is a place for, man, if you want to rope, this is celebrated here. What it's been pretty cool too that like our Bible study group that been over there at Ken's and
Yes.
getting a lot of the guys that some of our military guys have been coming to it, and goal was for a lot of the college kids to be able to have places they can go where the local honky tonks weren't the only ones accepting them in. So the goal was to try to have it, for a lot of the kids with Wyatt and Wyatt's age and Peyton and a lot of the guys that go here in college. A lot of guys that go to college don't go here, that still live here.
Right.
There's a lot of kids that are enrolled in places all over the country, but they live here. And so it's been cool, but like to have the military guys in there as well has been fun. It's been some pretty good couple books that we've been breaking down, and it's been
good. It's been good for me too, and bringing back some things that I probably should have been doing many years ago. Kind of backslid. Everybody knows.
Yeah, it's good to have those group of men that you're sparring off of. You talk about iron sharpen iron. One thing to do it in the arena. It's another thing on how important it is to do it out of the arena.
Yes,
and I think that for me gets lost a lot with your everyday chores or everyday life that shows up, and to be able to get that iron sharpening iron amongst a great group of men out of the arena has been helpful with everything. Talk about marriage, talk about being a father, you talk about being a friend, you talk about being a competitor, and man, when God's first, a guy can feel how much better all those little things are after that. And it's helped me a lot, and it's been one of those things where Ken and I, it's been good for us because it holds us accountable as well.
I agree.
But then also to be able to go through these Bible study pages or chapters, and then I might read it before it starts, and then my perspective on it is this, but then to hear a whole group of guys talk about it, and then all of a sudden you're getting way more of an expansion of what the chapter from different perspectives than what mine was, and by the time the whole circle comes around, you're like, man, I understand this in a way different way than I did just reading it myself.
Exactly.
So you talk about the iron sharpening iron. That's one thing I noticed about it was pretty impactful, was just getting more of an understanding by hearing more perspectives.
Yeah, I look forward to Wednesday nights now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good time.
Yeah. You had a pretty good summer run, so I'd love to hear about getting to go out there on the road. I always call it like being a civilian. I call myself a civilian now because I'm not a rodeo guy. Right. And so when I see all the guys again, I'm like, yeah, I'm not tired. I got well rested. I'm a civilian now, so I go to bed at 9:30. And so as you've kind of watched it on the Cowboy Channel and heard all about it, then to be able to just go get in the rig and see what it's like when the curtain's pulled back of what these guys have to do, go through, and the places you got to see. Talk a little bit about your summer run this year.
Well, it was one of those things that it just was kind of meant to be, because I talked to Ken Bray back in the spring. I got down here and was getting bored because things were kind of at a lull between getting my barn and my place fenced and waiting on the house to start. And I was like, I need to do something. So I talked to Ken, and I really didn't want to go back to work full time because I don't have to. And I was like, I don't want a job. But we talked about a few things, and none of them just, he's like, I don't think that'd fit you, Brian. I think Ken probably knows me better than I think he does these days. And so he mentioned, hey, would you want to drive the boys around this summer? I was like, well, what does that mean? He said, well, just get them to the rodeos. And I was like, okay, well, maybe so. And this was probably March, and I kind of forgot about it. Well, he calls me probably around the 1st of June, and he says, hey, you still bored? And I said, actually, I'm getting bored again. And he said, you want to take the boys out? And I said, well, okay. When would it start? And he said, around June the 20th, depending on where they're up and what's happening. I said, man, Ken, I'd love to. I said, but Aaron and Claire are supposed to be out here about the 25th, 26th of June, and they're going to stay through the 4th of July because I hadn't seen them in like 3 months. And he's like, man, no, I understand. He said, family first. He said, you were just one I could trust and was going to offer the opportunity. And I said, Ken, man, that's an honor. I appreciate it. I said, but I probably going to have to do the family thing. And he said, no hard feelings, no big deal. Well, I called Erin and I said, you'll never guess what happened. And I told her, and she's like, well, you'll never guess what happened. I said, what? She said, I'm not going to be able to make it. till well into July. I'm like, well, okay. And she said, call Ken back, tell him you're going to do it. And I said, well, she said, me and Claire will be there next week, and we'll stay till, we'll get you on the plane when you leave, and I'll bring the dogs back to North Carolina, and you just take care of get the horses taken care of, and you go help them boys out. I was like, well, sometimes God works things out. So I called Ken back, said, I'm in. And so they flew me to Reno, and it was on from there.
Reno's so much fun because that's when it's all about to start.
Oh, yeah.
That's when everyone's excited. Man, the environment's good. The weather's good. The rodeo's good. Everyone's going to make the NFR. Everyone's going to have a great 4th of July. So it's so much fun. What was it like when you got there? And then
it was a whirlwind is all I can say. Cause I remember I talked to you and I talked to Ken, and I'm like, hey, what am I expecting out here? And you're like, you said, I can't even explain it. You're just going to have to go see it. And so Wyatt calls me. He says, hey, I sent you your plane ticket. You're going to land on the 20th in Reno. I'll pick you up at the airport. So Aaron takes me to Dallas. I get on the plane. I land in Reno. Wyatt picks me up. It's like 2:00 in the afternoon. We haul ass to the arena. We jump out, getting horses ready. He said, me and Peyton's up tonight. And team roping, Peyton's up in the calf roping. So he said, we got 5 horses here. This is the rig. He said, Hunter and Cody's on their way in from, I don't even know where they were at. They'd already roped in Reno. And it was like, okay. And so they saddled horses. Wyatt gave me a horse that just ride it, follow me, and they'll think you're roping tonight. So I sat on him. I sat on his calf horse while they team roped. He come out, we switched horses. I sat on his hill horse. Next thing I know, he's like, all right, Brian, I'll see you in a couple of days. And I was like, where the hell's he going? Well, I said, he's got to catch a ride to California. He's up in the slack and calf roping in the morning. We'll take care of his horse. He'd go. Okay, so me and Wyatt take care of the horses, and he says, all right, let's go watch a little bit of rodeo, but we got to be up 3:30 in the morning because Cody and Hunter's coming in. We're switching rigs. Okay, so we get in bed. I get up 3:30 in the morning. Here comes Cody and Hunter pulling in. And I knew Hunter. We'd met. We'd roped at your thing. We said hello, introduced me to Cody Snow, changed numbers. They said, all right, we're leaving these 5 horses with you. We're heading to California. We'll call you this afternoon. They were gone. Okay, I got this. So Wyatt called me in the middle of the afternoon. He said, I need you to stay in Reno for about 2 more days. We got a good spot. Just hang there, exercise the horses. If you got any questions, call me. I said, nah, I got this. So I did. And then they called me and said, all right, take the rig and head to Lakeview, Oregon. There's fairgrounds there. It's not open. No rodeo. Just pull in, lay over there, exercise the horses, get them out of Reno, get them out in the big pens. And we land tomorrow, and at the airport in Prime will pick us up at 2:00. So I did. Went up there, hung out in Primal, Oregon in Lakeview, Oregon by myself. Rode horses, ate some dinner, went to bed, got up, hauled ass to an airport. Pull in, big old 5-horse elite trying to sneak through an airport. Not fun. They all jump in the truck. On to the next one. Primal. Rodeoed there for a day. Left there in the middle of the night. I drove to, I don't know, somewhere. Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Roll in about 8 in the morning. Jump out. I lay down for a little bit. Probably back up in the next hour. We're going to get breakfast. Because now we're on our way to Canada. I'm like, okay, here we go. They're like, you want to sleep? I said, no, I want to see Canada. I've never been here. I said, I'm going to get the passenger seat. And so on the way to Pinoca, we went. And then that was an experience.
How cool is Pinoca?
It was, out of the run I made this summer, as far as the environment and the people that were just so passionate about rodeo, Pinoca was probably the best one I went to.
They love their rodeo up there.
And
talk about the wagon races. Is that not as close thing to NASCAR as what you've seen?
When we pulled in, and it had rained earlier that day, and we got there like 4 in the afternoon or something. It was red mud, just nasty. Acres and acres of campers. People on golf carts, side by sides. And half of them ain't got no shoes on. They're drunk. And I'm like, this looks like Charlotte Motor Speedway in the 90s. I mean, this is what I remember. This
badass.
Is these people, and it falls on a holiday up here in Canada, Boxing Day, so it's a long weekend. And these people are drinking beer at 9:00 in the morning, and they're there for the slack. And then the party goes on all night. I'm like, this is pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
It changed my tune about Canadians, because there's some Canadians up there that
some of the best guys ever, man. Some of them Canadian team rovers, man, some of the best guys ever. I love them guys up there.
And they are not Trudeau fans. They're not liberals. They're they'd fit in just fine in Stephenville, Texas.
Yeah, especially Alberta.
Yeah,
that is kind of the Texas of Canada up there.
The green
great
grass
rodeos,
and the cows, I mean, just acres and acres. But just the environment at that rodeo was pretty cool.
Yeah, cool. Like how they set up the boxes where it's similar to Pendleton in a way, but on dirt, and it's a cool one. And then with watching them wagon races, man, it gets wild in there.
And every rodeo, I was right there behind the
got to see it eye level, huh?
Eye level, wherever I wanted to be. If they were like checking, like up there in Panoka, Cody Snow's like, here, just take my back number, roll it up, stick it in your belt like you're going to put it on later and just walk around. They'll think you're roping. He said, I don't need it.
It's one thing Tyler Magnus told me at a young age, or when I was just getting started, kind of. He said, if you can't learn to outsmart a gate man, he said, you're going to have a hard time rodeoing.
Yeah. Well, them boys knew all the tricks. And so now I know them. So like Stephenville Rodeo here in town, I just act like I was supposed to be there.
That's right.
Yeah, nobody cared. But yeah.
And where did you guys go after Panoka?
Okay, Panoka got, for you folks out there listening, don't know how all this works, so all four of them were up in the team roping in Panoka, and Payton's kicking ass in the calf rope. So he's sitting there leading it. Everybody else kind of doesn't do so well, so nobody's making it back to the short going to team roping. But Payton is. So now we've got to be in less than 36 hours in Livingston, Montana, and then Payton's got to be back in Panoka the next day to run the short go to try and win this thing. So for 2 hours, it was phone calls, how we're going to leave a horse, how we're going to get a horse, how we're going to get him here. Finally, 2 hours later, they decide, all right, we're going to go to Quam's house right up here out of Alberta, leave Payton's calf horse, haul butt to Livingston, Montana. So we leave there. I end up at Dustin Bird's house in Cut Bait, Montana at like midnight. We unload there, let the horses out. We're up by 7 the next morning, on the road by 7:30, heading to Livingston. We get in Livingston about lunchtime. Slack's up at 2. They're up. The other rig's coming in from down south somewhere because now it's starting to get tricky. So everybody ropes in the slack there. Hayden and Wyatt were up in Mandan. But Payton's going to draw out. Wyatt gets a new partner so he can hop a ride back to Panoka for a short go. So they get that squared away. They all get in the other rig that Hunter had that came up from the south, and they go to Mandan, North Dakota. I grab my 5 horses, my rig, and I go to Cody, Wyoming. So now I roll into Cody by myself. Get there late in the evening. There's no stalls. So I'm having to put up electric fence, take care of these horses. They go do good in Mandan. Now they're coming from Mandan back to Cody. Hayden goes up there, finishes Panoka. So I get up at 4 a.m, drive to Red Lodge, Montana to pick him up because he's hitched a ride with him and his horse back to Red Lodge. So I grab him and Red Lodge back to Cody so him and Wyatt can rope in the slack.
Get back in the rig.
In Cody, Montana.
Get the calf horse back in the rig.
Cody, Wyoming, get his horse back to him. And the other rig's already left with Cody and Hunter going to wherever they went. And so they rope. They hitch a ride on a plane. I think Shad Mayfield set it up, so Wyatt and Payton grab a plane ride. I leave Cody, Wyoming, go to Basin City, Washington. And I go to one of Cody's friends' house named Wayne and his wife. They were great people. Took me in like I was one of their own. Had a beautiful place up there. Hung out there for a day. Back to the airport. Picked them up for the July the 4th rodeo in Basin City. That was cool because that was the Freedom Rodeo.
Mm-hmm.
And for folks out there listening that don't understand that one, that was one of the places that manned up during COVID and said,
yeah, one of my good buddies up there helped put that on.
Yep, they said, you know what, to the government, we're going to have a rodeo for these boys.
Figured you'd like that.
Y'all, I loved it. When Payton told me the history behind that one, they gave me that night off. They said, this is your night. You enjoy some fine Pilsners and enjoy this 4th of July rodeo. And so I did. And it was a great little venue.
Mm-hmm.
But they've added so much money over the years just because people have supported what they did during COVID that those big guys are finding a way to get there to support the rodeo, plus it's paying enough to make it worth their time to try and get enough money to get to the end.
Yeah, that one's cool.
It was. And so
Did you guys get a chance to go to St. Paul?
I was at St. Paul.
Yeah.
And
How cool was that?
Oh, that was that was on the run I was on next to Panoka. Well, as far as the rodeo itself, St. Paul was more historic to me.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the atmosphere, Pinoca kind of had it at another level. But
Yeah.
St. Paul was great because once again, Peyton gave me his horse and said, "You're going to ride in there with us and stand in the line and watch the slack."
Can you not? Oh, you're in the slack. Gotcha.
They were in slack. I didn't get to go in.
Didn't get to go to
They were in the perf. Now I was in there during the perf, but you know how everybody rides in, just lines up for the slack. You know,
Mhm.
they wrote between the little pine trees. Yeah, I got to sit there and watch the best of the best, like from me to you right now.
Yep.
Up in the slack, and
That's pretty cool. Huh?
it was pretty cool.
That's the place I cut my teeth at. Like I rode bucking horses as a little kid, ponies in there and stuff, and little bucking steers, and like that's one of the first places I think I ever breakaway roped, and like that was just right down the road from where I grew up. But the electricity that place has during the perf, it's hard to explain because I think St. Paul is 325 people.
Oh yeah, I was going to bring that up.
Something like that.
There's like 10 times more people in the stands than the city that live in the city of St. Paul. It was, and you talk about a hospitality tent. The food, wow, they really turned it on there. Yeah,
they, that to me that even is close to like. So I think you're getting a lot of your city people coming in there, but to me it just shows you that there's such because you talked about being up there in Canada also. There's so many people that love rodeo.
Oh, yeah.
Even amongst the cities and stuff. And that's just one of the things I think the St. Paul draws such a good audience is because it gets everyone around that area that is not just the St. Paul people. And they come in droves during that thing, man. And it's always been that way ever since I was a little kid.
Really?
And that place is fun, but the energy you feel there during a performance, man, is so cool.
And I will say this to the folks in the Northwest that the media, Portland and Seattle and all that, those aren't those folks up there, man.
Mm-hmm.
I saw all the Northwest, and I never met one that we disagreed on anything.
Mm-hmm.
They're just outnumbered just like any other blue state, but they're there.
Yeah, they're outnumbered by, I think, 2 counties.
Yep.
If I remember right, something like that.
But they are just a down-to-earth American, want the best.
American-loving people.
American-loving rodeoing people. So.
Yep. Yeah, they got the tree. I think there's a Christmas tree called the arborvitaes up there that are really common around there. And then hops, a lot of hops around there. But they got the arborvitae trees, Christmas trees all around
I met the folks that own some of those big farms. They were in the hospitality tent there in St. Paul, and they were just great people. And they were like, this is just our livelihood. We just got to deal with the BS from the rest of it. But, if we could pack up and move to Texas, we would.
They love rodeo up there, man. It's just crazy because that's some of the best rodeos in the country is up there in the Northwest, especially in the summertime.
The weather was great.
Late summer. Mm-hmm. The weather's phenomenal, huh?
But, and so after Basin City, where'd we go now?
Isn't it funny how you start losing track of what day it is?
Oh, I never knew what day it was. And everything changed.
Numbers was all I knew. So when we were rodeoing, all we knew was we were up here and here the 2nd, and we were up here and here the 3rd.
Yep.
We didn't even know what day of the week it was.
When Wyatt sent me the thing at the beginning, it was like a 3-page text all the way through the slack in Cheyenne, and I was like, the 4th here, the 3rd, the 4th. Well, some days we were at 2 places.
Mm-hmm.
Pull in the slack, load up, and hit the perf that night, and then boom, on the next one. And just the logistics, though, it was the phone calls that have to be made. Hey, can we switch a run here? Can I buy your run here and you take mine? And it was wild. I've never seen nothing like it.
Yeah, more to it than just roping.
Yes.
There's a lot of guys that talked about sometimes roping's the easy part out there at times because there's so much planning and so much. Your rig's breaking down, horses getting hurt, horses swapping out here, getting trades where you can actually compete at the rodeo you entered in.
That's right.
There's so much more than just roping good. The roping, you've got to rely on that because you don't always get a chance to think of it because that's why you see these guys out here when they're home, it's all they're doing is practicing.
Yeah, and, being a grown man, not some college kid they're paying just to get up and down the road, I tried to take as much of that them having to think off of them. When I had the rig, I'll call you and let you know what I did. I'm not going to question you all day. Hey, can I do this? Can I do that? I'm just going to make a decision.
Yep.
And if you don't like it when we meet back up, tell me not to do that shit again. If you do like it, then I'll keep doing it.
Yep.
They gave me my instructions and I followed them to a T, but like if I pulled over and needed some, I don't know where the credit card is. I put diesel fuel in the truck. I put DEF in the truck. I kept the coolers full. And that they kind of get mad at me for that. We're paying you to be out here. I said, no, y'all consider a little sponsorship for me because I got no responsibility. If y'all think just driving a truck and take care of these horses is stressful, dude, I'm really not stressed about this. Now,
that's what I was
watching y'all miss stresses me out because now I got to get in the rig with all y'all, and that's a whole different ball game there. When everybody's winning, it's great.
Talk about how hard that is, because that is one of the things that everyone talks about is like, because think about this, is you're constantly gambling in a way. Every single day to make a paycheck so you can eat.
Yep.
So you can feed your family, so you can make your truck payments, so you can make a trailer payment, so you can make your house payments, horse payments, vet payments, food payments, feed bill, insurance, mortgages, property taxes, cattle, hay. I mean, you name it. And then now if we don't have any of that, now we got to accumulate all that.
Yep.
So whatever it is, that's the pressure of winning.
And that's why I didn't mind throwing a few tanks of diesel, whatever I could do.
Yeah.
Just every little bit,
Yeah.
But
that's where the stress, me, like that's when we get to see what the curtain is pulled back and see what these guys go through and the fact of like what it looks like when a guy, I mean, think about this 2 years ago, you being in North Carolina.
Yeah.
To think that like, are you shitting me? In 2 years, I'm going to be freaking driving with one of these guys. Get to see what this looks like going down the road.
I never would have thought it. and don't get me wrong, they treated me like one of the team.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't treat me like hired help, and I don't know. I mean, I appreciate that, and but I mean, because they would ask my opinion on things. I'm like, I don't. You won't think what I think? I don't know nothing about all this, but it was a great time. It was great, and everything went well. Knock on wood. We didn't have no major horse issues, no breakdowns. I mean, we saw plenty, but it just didn't happen to us, thankfully. Well, thank God for that.
Yeah, 4th of July, man, you can just see trucks parked up and down the road, just breaking down, bearings going out, turbos blowing.
Horses got hurt in different places. Cody, Wyoming, a guy had a horse in an electric fence lot that probably wasn't firework broke. Never been to many rodeos, and he broke out. Ran through Ty Harris's fence, so his horses got out. They ran through the old barbed wire fence there behind the parking lot in Cody. Luckily, it was old and rusted, so it broke when they run through it. They got cut up pretty bad. We're a mile away, middle of the night.
Yeah, I've seen too many of them electric fence deals go south, man.
Well, I was sitting in
panels
Cody.
Or stalls, man. That's kind of about all I trust.
Well, we didn't have the panels. We had the wire fence, and some days the charger was hot. Some days I could grab it, and it wasn't bothering me at all. So I was sitting there in Cody by myself, waiting on all of them to get there. And I was on the phone with Ken and just checking in because Ken was keeping my horses and everything. And he said, "What are you doing today?" I said, "I was just hanging out in Cody." And he's like, "Y'all slide in the backside of Yellowstone and then go up to the museum there in Cody. It's worth time." And I said, "Ken, I would." I said, "But right now I'm on the clock." I said, because I got these horses in a wire fence and no stalls. And after what I've seen, I'm not leaving these horses here.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But some people would leave theirs. I mean, I could have tied them all to the trailer, but that ain't happening. I'll come back and see Yellowstone on my time. But
what was the coolest rodeo you felt like you got to see?
Probably as far as the coolest one was St. Paul. The environment I'll give to Pinoca. But the coolest one, just the way it was set up, and was probably St. Paul.
Did you go out long enough for Cheyenne? I couldn't remember.
I ended up at the Slack in Cheyenne.
Slack in Cheyenne.
But I've been to the Purse in Cheyenne before.
That's right.
But no, I got them to the Slack in Cheyenne, and that's where Aaron flew in and met me. And then that's when I retired from rodeo for the summer.
Still not retired.
Give me back Steveville.
You went just long enough to where it stayed fun, probably.
Yes.
Because I think what that is, that's exciting because that's seeing things you've never seen before. Yeah. I think after a while, it's like then was repetition and
there wasn't a whole lot of, I mean, I had a couple of downtime days where it was just me and the horses. So I got to regroup and, be by myself, which I'm very fond of being by myself sometimes. And, because I'm not going to lie, 5 people in a rig, it got a little tight some nights. I mean, me and Wyatt slept in the truck a lot of times.
Yep.
But it was a blast, and I owe those boys a lot of memories, but they've got my respect because it could relate to working in the law enforcement world as far as you never know what's around the next corner. No day's the same. especially working narcotics. You're supposed to be here at this time. It's going to happen at this time. And nothing ever stays on track. And rodeo's kind of the same way. Nothing ever went as direct as when Wyatt sent it to me before we left.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't stay straight on.
It's constant. It's a constant audible.
It is. And you've got to have that flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have had a hard time rodeoing for a living because I like a structured life.
Mm-hmm. And I'm that way. And I came from rodeo.
Yeah.
And like for me, in order for me, like to have a schedule to where you're having to accommodate other people, the guy's got to have that schedule. But like in that world, man, there's so many people that don't understand. It's like you can't hardly plan a month out because you don't know where you're going to be. You have an idea, but it could change at the very last minute between a short round, a progressive round, a trade, getting up here. And so there's so many things that can juggle throughout that it's wild that it's cool. I think a lot of people to see like behind the scenes of like what it looks like.
It was something to see. I mean, like I said, I can explain it. People are listening, but till you go see, it's just kind of like trying to explain some scenery. Until you actually see it, it doesn't really kick in. But I would do it again for those boys.
What do you feel like the camaraderie is that you see amongst the guys out there on the road, like compared to like some of the guys that you see going up and down, or like military?
Well, everybody says steer wrestlers are the ones that just help each other all the time, but those guys, man, it's still that. To me, it was in team roping because as soon as they were over, somebody had sent them a video of their run. I videoed a lot of them, but they were already getting them from one of the other team ropers that was videoing it for them, so they could break it down. And then, if they called you and said, "Hey, Charlie, I need your calf from Prineville," boom, they got it. Everybody sent them, so they knew. I guess the research that went into each run amazed me. Because I just look at the horns when I ride by and say, okay, yeah. But they're breaking down each steer because we're talking tenths of seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And the strategy, like, you're sitting fourth going into short go, and you need to be 3.9 or better. I don't know what 3.9 looks like. I got an idea what an 8 looks like. I can go out there and get close to it, but they can break it down to where they can be almost where they want to be on running. That would amaze me.
Mm-hmm.
Because they would be like, if I can get him here, you get him here. And I was like, it's like watching film for pro athletes. It's all it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're getting to sit in the huddle.
Yes. And
during
I
the
got
game,
to be there.
and you're
showing me the videos, and I'm like,
and you're watching the draw out, like how they're drawing it out on a chalkboard in the middle of the huddle.
Yeah. And they bring me right in. So this is our steer. This is what he's going to do. And I'm like, it looks like the last 200 I've seen. I'm serious. At my level, it looked like the last 200.
So funny.
I'm not going to lie about it.
Because there's so much strategy on, like, all right, how does this steer break?
Yeah.
How does he leave the chute?
How is he leaving?
Because that sets up your start. Well, okay, now from there, what direction does he go? Is he straight? Is he going to the right? Is he stepping left? What lead is he in? What does the steer do now after you rope him? Like, when you get up there to him, is his head up? Is it down? Is it moving around?
Yeah.
Now from there, when he ropes, now how does he handle? Does he hit the end of it where you know where the next stop's going? Does he push on the end of it? Does he suck under? Does he get heavy? Those are all things right there to where this lets you know what play you've got to run so you can try to somehow fit that time between what wins it and what places. And a lot of times that can be within a half a second.
All day long it was. And
you think about the time that a lot of people lose in the numbered ropings. The lower number you go, the more time it kind of has to vary. Where some of the guys making a few mistakes here might cost them a second.
Yeah.
Well, on team roping, you'd have to times that by 4 because it's 4-head average.
Yeah.
So, okay, you're not facing correct enough, so you're losing a second right here on the face. So now go at the end right here, and that cost you 4 seconds in the average. What won it? Look and see what that was. Now subtract 4 seconds from there. Then more importantly, go the next bracket over. Now look and see how much money you lost.
And you bring up
well, for these guys, these are tenths of seconds.
Yes, and you bring up face, and I'm not going to name names because of the runs, but I saw that cost several people.
Mm-hmm.
Just the face horse, just jack up just a little bit and wouldn't get back.
Just enough.
Yep, just enough. And if those,
because if you can see it, it's time.
If I can see it,
it's time.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Those are little things.
Yep. And I didn't realize all that. But
or just missing your slack a little bit.
Just missing
or dropping an extra coil.
Yep.
All that.
On it to get tired.
Yeah, it waits a little bit longer. That throws a healer off. So that's at least 3/10. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Those are all those little things. Healer right there bobbling his first dally. Then a guy gets caught in the V, then takes another little bit to get faced. It's all those little tiny things.
And then you can break it down to flaggers.
Yeah.
Some are a little forgiving. Some are just stout. It's going to be tight, and you're going to be faced. So, it was very interesting. I learned a lot. I did.
Now you see why them guys, like when they talk, man, isn't it another level, isn't it?
It is.
Like I've never got, like it's almost to me like listening to the Business Channel when everything's in, broken at such a level where there's the acronyms of these three dealing like, I don't even know what the hell they're talking. I don't even know what those initials mean.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when they're up there talking about, the slack or getting right there, get that steer hit right there at the end of it. Like, you got to open your swing up, or man, your horse got to finish, and you got to make that steer, do this and that, and got to get the front, and like all the lingo to say, like, I don't even know what the hell these guys are talking about. Folks, if you're in Texas or Oklahoma and need a top-tier metal building, you need to call the guys at Cowboy Steel Construction. Founded by Trey Norris back in 2000, Cowboy Steel has grown into one of the premier metal building contractors in the region. Need an indoor arena? Or want to cover the one you've already got? These guys know how to get the job done right. Strong, reliable, and built to last. Whether it's for ranch, business, or personal use, Cowboy Steel Construction has you covered, literally. Check out their work on social media at Cowboy Steel Construction on their Facebook and Instagram page, or call Trey Norris at 903-348-4611, and you can email them at cowboysteel2k@gmail.com.
Another thing I will say that relates back to policing and military is the burden it puts on their families.
100%.
I mean, God bless those women. And a lot of them have them out there and, for certain parts of time and everything, but some of that gets so crazy that when you're running and gunning, trying to make all those rodeos during the 4th, and, those women that are staying home and taking care of the ranches and everything, and just like when you're on a deployment.
Taking care of the kids, taking care of the horses, taking care of all the steers, managing everything, the bills, the everything. And some of them being able to come out there with the kids and get to see a little bit here and there. And so, but you, like I say, that was perfect in the fact of like, not only is it the wives, not only is it, significant others, but also too, the parents. There's a lot of worry out there when their kids are out there on the road, that hoping that somebody that is helping them right there stays awake and things don't bad happen. And, the stuff like that will keep a guy up at night. Just for me, hell, when the kids are out there and they're going from here to there, and it's like, man, it sucks.
Oh, yeah.
You can't protect them from here.
No.
And so, yeah, it's a lot to it. And the fact of, the deployment, that's one of the things that I remembered is like, man, I think like I had it hard when I was rodeoing, but then, man, these guys be on deployments for months, years.
Depending on what units you're in, it'd be.
And what time?
Yep.
In World War II, I'm sure months would have been really good. I think it's probably years back then, for sure. Yeah. And I was like, man, I need to shut up and quit complaining, because there's a lot of guys that had it worse than when I was out there rodeoing, that's for sure.
And just the fact that those guys, you don't know when your next paycheck is. It's all on you to go get it done. And, I talk about the stress they had, being the police all them years, it was stressful and everything, but I knew I was getting paid every 2 weeks. Didn't matter. I know I'm getting paid. I might have been putting up with a bunch of bullshit, but I was getting paid. They're putting up with a bunch of stuff and stressing and don't know if they're getting paid. And
100%.
That's a rough way to make a living.
Yes, it is. A lot of variables. But just like anything, the top's good.
Yep.
There's top 5%, top 5, I guess, probably say like out there rodeoing, like those guys are doing good. They got, their sponsors are probably good. A lot of the things they're probably doing is probably paid for because they've represented themselves well. They have a good platform that people trust, and between fraternities and jackpots and, rodeos and not only just the PRCA rodeos, but all the standalone events. You look at Driggers is almost at 900,000 cash and prizes for this year.
That's
so
guys,
so some of the guys at the top, man, there's opportunity here, and I'll bet I know he's over 5 because I'm sure that there's fraternities and stuff in there and some other stuff that he probably didn't count, not even counting sponsors, and so yeah, he's apt to make $1 million cowboy in 1 year.
Oh yeah,
which is phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
it's great for the sport. It's great for the industry.
I'm glad to see them adding all the money and those boys having a chance to make a good living for what they do, because it's rough.
Yeah, it's hard.
I got all new respect for it. It's not, everybody think, oh, it's the partying and running. There ain't no.
It used to was. It was pretty good back in the day.
Yeah, and it still had its opportunities there, but when that rig's got to be mobile for 48 hours straight.
Well, I tell you what, there was
downtime.
difference between, like, say, when I first started, when it was a pretty good party too. There wasn't as many. There are so many things to go to now, and also not only that is now you can make a living. Like now there is a living to be made, so there's more guys taking it seriously.
Yes.
And I think there are so many things. You know, I mean, there's, like I was telling Jackie this morning, it was like, you know, we was talking about a little bit of like what it was like when we first was dating and what it's like now. I'm like, man, you're going to more stuff than even when I was full-time rodeo. I mean, it's gotten to where now jackpots and fraternities, there's so many things added on to just rodeoing that it's busier now than it's ever been. Yeah. And like, then you think about the families, like, you know, how much you got to look at, if you're a rodeo cowboy, it's like, all right, how saturated do I want to stay? Because you're going to be, what are you sacrificing? There's sacrifices and all this stuff, you know, and usually the sacrifices is how much am I going to be home now?
Exactly.
You know, and so that's where a lot of these guys are going to have to start drawing a line to make sure that rodeoing ain't just the golden idol, you know, or
it's just like, you know, I had my, you know, I lost my first one over the job and all that, and it was just, you're putting into something that is not going to give you the same backing.
Mm-hmm.
So
100%.
You've got to
sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice?
What are you willing to sacrifice? And then I stayed, you know, by myself for a long time, which it's good or bad, I don't know, but, you know, sacrificed a lot but God's plan worked out, and here we are.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but yeah, I was so happy when you said you just didn't go out there. I was pumped because you get to see the things that behind the scenes is what it's like, and the fact of the stress, but also too is, man, you get to see some of the greatest people.
Yes.
And some of the coolest places, and, you know, some of the memories that I had out there rodeo and the people I met, man,
I didn't
the
meet
freedom.
Anybody that, you know, at no point in time did I start, you know, putting my hand up near my shirt, you know, grabbing for my gun or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was a whole different world out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I never.
It's a bubble, isn't it?
It's a bubble, that Western industry, that rodeo way of life. Don't get me wrong, there were some jackasses out there.
Oh, for sure. You can't, nothing's perfect.
But as far as actual threats, it was hard. I was looking for them all the time. It was hard to find one.
I tell you what, like that's the thing that I struggle with the most is like when people talk about, you know, get your concealed carry, you got to make sure everywhere you go, you got to, it's hard for me to do is because we don't see it.
And I have to admit,
and I get you don't see it until you do.
And then it's too late.
It's so hard because we run 99.9% success rate on not seeing any of that stuff.
And talking about that, being down here now, my daughter in school and actually substitute teaching down in Dublin, it's a whole different world here. And I'll touch on it for a second for the folks out there. At one point in my career, I was the school resource officer sergeant. I had like 20 SROs underneath me at 20 different schools every day. And it was a gun, dope, something at those schools where we came from. It was just a different way of life. And it was the worst 2 years of my career. I come down here and they conned me into substitute teaching. I said, y'all don't know what y'all getting me into down here. These kids are totally different. Totally different.
What do you feel like the difference is?
The way they're raised. It's the way they are raised. It's yes, sir, no, sir. It's just a little bit of respect. And that's all I can account it to is the way they're raised and there's that environment. It's not thuggish. There's nobody out here disrespecting, just wanting to be assholes. And I don't want to cover the airways with words like that, but that's what it boils down to.
It's a lot to this industry and this environment and the fact of, and Southern hospitality.
Yes.
You know, that's what I pray that, you know, there's so much of blue states, people running from communism coming here, and you're hoping that Texas stays Texas.
I hope it does.
You know, the amount of times when I first drove down here and everyone waved.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Everyone waved. And if you're in a hurry and someone in front of you knew you're in a hurry, they just pulled over. Hey, man, go ahead and get by. You know, last time I've seen anyone pull over, it was like, it's been a minute. And you're like, man, I used to miss that. And you're hoping that the culture stays the same because that Southern hospitality, you know, coming from northern states, you know, for me is that's what was so attractive when I first got down here was just the manners, the Southern hospitality, and that's one of the things that really attracted me down here, and I hope it holds that way. But getting to see what this is like compared to where you came from, it's cool to see, because we forget about it as well because we're here.
Yeah, and I hope I forget about it, because it's a breath of fresh air. My daughter's thrive. She wants to go to school. She doesn't come home saying, "Daddy, I saw fights today. I saw a girl grab a girl by the hair and throw her up against the locker." That was every day. And we lived in the country, but we had to send our kids to the city to go to school. Down here, the schools are in the country. And they were just, and everybody down here just welcomed us in down here. It was crazy. Because my daughter was supposed to go to Stephenville, but we lived closer to Dublin, and it was smaller, and we talked to her, and she said, "I'd rather go to a smaller school." So I went down there and introduced myself. They were like, "Oh, we'd love to have her. You just got to fill out this paperwork." And they asked me how we ended up down here, and I told them I was retired law enforcement, and they're like, "You ever thought of being a cop down here?" "Absolutely not." Nope. They said, "Well, we need a lot of substitutes, in our little schools. We got teachers won't take days off." And I said, "I'll get back to you on that," because my wife was like, "Don't, you'll get fired day one." I said, no, I might be all right. I'm different down here. I've relaxed, and I've done it for about 3 weeks now, and I've had a ball.
What's it like? Like, what's the substitute like? What were you teaching? What are the kids like? What is it? Because like for me here in Huckabee, I've had to eat crow on public schools because it is amazing there. Teachers are great.
Ours are too.
I love it. My kid loves going to school. When I go to the pickup line every single day of the week, and that I'm home, probably 3 trailers with horses in them.
Yeah.
At least 12 dualies.
Oh yeah. I've dropped Claire off with my horse's saddle when I was leaving there to go rope that morning.
And it's like, it's not odd. Yeah.
I go to watch her pepper alley or whatever. They have them in the morning sometimes. So the parents come before work. I got my spurs, my hat on, my horses are in the trailer because I'm leaving there to go to rope pen, and nobody cares.
Yeah.
But it's a way of life, and the kids are great. The staff, they appreciate it every day that I've worked. They've even got there's an app that they list the jobs, but a couple of the teachers that I filled in for will call me directly now. "Hey, can you work for me tomorrow? The kids loved you. You did such a good job."
Awesome.
My wife looked at me, rolling her eyes, going, "I ain't buying this." Hey, proof, it's right here.
It's awesome.
No, I'll tell you this story right quick. It's funny. I did have, in Dublin's, a lot of Hispanic down there, more than up this way. So I'm substituting a 6th grade class, and the Hispanic guy, little kid, he comes in there. I'm not going to name his name. He's a good kid now. Me and him had a little talk. But he comes in, and the teacher across the street or across the hall had told me, "Hey, he's going to probably give you a little fit. He gives the full-time teacher fit." I said, "Okay." So he leaned over, and he's talking to the Hispanic girl beside him, and he says something in Spanish. And so I leaned down and in Spanish told him I knew what he was saying. If he ever said that again, we'd have a problem. He looked at me. He just hung his head. The rest of the kids in there looked at me and said, "Oh, he can speak Spanish. That's not going to work today." And me and him have been buddies ever since.
Awesome.
So, yeah, it was
awesome. That, when that Uvalde shooting happened, that was too close, and the fact that, anytime that happens in Texas, that's just not, it's not our culture here. You know what I mean? And so I remember talking to some of the faculty there in Huckabee saying, like, "Hey, look, man, I know some people that are retiring. I can raise money. I can do a lot of things, man. I can find some people that if we need to have some security here, I can help in any way possible, and I'll do it." And he's like, "Man, I appreciate that. But most of the teachers here carry."
Yeah, and that's the same in Dublin.
And that was like, oh, thank God.
Because they've talked to me about it, and I said, yeah, trust me. It doesn't matter if I carry or not. I'm probably going to take your gun and go to work because I'm going to do it better than you anyway. No offense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to take your gun from you and go take care of it.
Right.
So, because it was funny the first day I'm in there, I'm looking around the classroom. I see where my windows are.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's a corner-fed room. I know where the door's at. I know where the hard corner's at. So if something happens, I know where the kids are going. And then I know where I'm going. And if I don't have a gun, when he sticks his gun through the door, then me and him's it's going to be fine.
What do you feel like public schools could do to start trying to either eliminate the school shootings, or what are some things that they can do to at least keep it from a better chance of keeping it from happening? What's your perspective? especially seems how, for one, you've been in law enforcement, and now also you've been in the schools. Where are they lacking, and where do you feel like there needs to be something right there that could pretty much avoid a lot of the situations that are happening? Do you feel like there is one?
Well, down here, just the little bit of time I've been involved with our school system, they're doing as much as I could ask them to do.
That's
now,
so
back
good
where
to hear.
I came from, no, they weren't doing jack.
What do you think the difference was?
I don't think the ones back in North Carolina cared. They're just going on the premise, it's not going to happen here. And that's not the way to run any kind of business.
Mm.
That's not the way to run anything, because it's not a matter of if, it's when.
Mm.
And like you said, down here in the little town of Uvalde, but Dublin's doing such a good job as far as the guardians, the teachers that nobody knows who they are that are carrying. I mean, there's pretty much, signs all, and my daughter made the volleyball team. We've been all around down south of here to these little schools. And when the sign out front says, hey, there's teachers here carrying, if you want to come inside and find, it pretty much in nice terms says, mess around and find out.
Mess around and find out.
Yeah.
Yep. F around and find out.
Yeah, exactly. And I would love it.
Mm-hmm.
When I pull on that campus, see those signs, I just smile.
Mm-hmm.
I said, this shit wouldn't fly in other places.
Love it. Love it.
I do too. But
What do you think the reason them other places won't do that?
I wish I knew, Charlie. If I knew, we could fix it.
Do you think it's policy? Do you think it's politics? Do you think,
I think it's politics. I think it's the people in the deep state out here. They want it to happen because it keeps this country in turmoil. It keeps something stirred up all the time. And that's the only way that they keep this going, is to have something stirred up all the time that they can blame somebody else for, when in reality it's all them.
Because I've wondered so much, for one, how much is it that they have these kids hopped up on certain Adderall or whatever it is, the medication for a lot of the stuff that's going on, mental health, mental health. And then also, the fact that the schools they're not set up to be able to defend it. They haven't, like you said, it's not a part of their business plan. Why the hell not? How is there not, if this school has a tendency of it, or if there's a weakness, to me it's like, all right, does there need to be a metal detector? Does there need to be somebody going through these kids' bags? Because if they can't get one in, then it makes it pretty damn hard. Just like you don't hear of very many shootings in an airport these days.
Nope, not many.
You know what I'm saying? So how are we not protecting our kids in the same way? Also, you don't hear of that many shootings in a Congress meeting.
Oh,
it's funny how they're protected.
Yeah, they're protected very well. That's a fine police department up there doing the job there, that they're paying very well just to walk around on government property and pretty much do nothing all day.
That's been some of the things that it seemed like for me, that there's been obvious ways to be able to keep these things from happening, but we're just not doing it.
No, we're not doing it.
That's what's been frustrating, especially having kids in the school. It's good to hear, like, for our little towns like this where they're doing such a good job with it. But, God, at least you think of the football stadiums.
Oh, yeah.
You can't get one of them.
But you think about the border, it's shut down now. They're sending them back. It works. Let law enforcement do their job. Just cut them loose. Don't worry about what the rest of the world thinks.
Yeah. Yes. I love the fact that now that the political correctness is now finally starting to, we've seen the repercussions of it.
We've seen the repercussions of 4 years of nobody saying a word and just letting them ruin this place.
Mm-hmm.
And now somebody's starting
enough
to
is enough. It's time for the for the overcorrection. It truly is. And I really don't think that anyone was probably fit for it better than Trump.
No, I agree with you.
Because there is no backup. Everyone's like, well, he ain't polished, he ain't this and that. He said, well, honestly, you don't want the one that polished going into the swamp that he's having to go fight.
And I think the master chess game has begun. I think you're seeing it. And the final play will happen. And I think it's all going to work out in the end. I got to hope that anyway.
I do too.
I've got to hope it.
I do too. But man, the protecting our schools, man, is a pretty high priority for me. It is so wild in the fact of, I was so mad and I was so bummed out and I was so depressed when I felt like the election got stolen in 2020. And to this day, I believe it. It felt that way at the time, and even more evidence is coming in that was true.
Yes.
And honestly, it's probably one of the biggest blessings in the way of the people he had with him at the time was just not the right people.
No, they were.
He didn't have a clue what he was doing when he won. Even Eric Trump said he was surprised that they won. Yeah. And so a lot of the people they just kind of banked on from everyone, and then turns out none of these guys had the best interest. And I don't think we could have got this country back near as well if he would have won. Another thing we almost needed to see of what happens when we have those dictators in place, when we have those deep state people in place, to see where they were wanting to take this country, and it exposed their hand. And then he gave Trump 4 years to sit and just plan and strategize.
And what I don't understand with the other side is for 4 years, he let them walk across the border like water. He fed them, gave them money, let drugs come across.
I wouldn't say he. I'd say we.
Well, yeah, because we didn't stand up either.
We paid for it.
Yeah, we paid for it.
Yeah.
But now that Trump's shutting all that down, not giving all this free stuff to illegals, now they want to pipe up and say he's a dictator? How? It blows my mind.
They're reaching for straws now because all he's doing now is going about what this country is founded on.
Yeah,
you got to have a border.
Got to have a border. Got to have rules. Got to have law.
Got to have rules. Got to have law. We can't let drugs keep coming in.
No,
come in here legally. That's all we ask. Just come in here legally.
Because I went from blowing doors and knocking off drug runners to coming down here and breathing clean air and waking up in the morning stress free. Somebody else has got to do it. And let those guys out there do it now because Trump's turning them loose, and I hope they kick ass.
How do you? Is there any? From the last 4 years when you got to retire and then Trump won, is there any dang, I kind of wished I could. Oh yeah, I could be back at work under this guy.
They said they opened up ICE and Border Patrol. Somebody said they waived the 37-year-old age limit, and I don't know if that's true or not. But the other day I was unpacking stuff and I found my kit. I broke my rifle out. Well, that's good. And I built me a range at my house just in case I got the urge and needed to go back to work somewhere so I wouldn't lose my skills. I went down there and kitted up and got my rifle, my pistol, and shot a couple mags, just made sure I could still do what I need to do because I was like, I'm getting bored again. And then I walked back up there.
Remember when we were talking about? Remember that the other day when we were talking about it, and I was like,
"Oh yeah,
yeah." I wonder
after
retiring.
That day, me and you were roping, and Charlie Kirk went down. Mm-hmm. When I left your house, I was like, "If the revolution starts today, then I will go back."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Because I remember when he got shot, we were out here roping, and we watched it, and that was a day I'll never forget.
No, sir.
That was horrible.
Yeah, that was our JFK, MLK.
Yep. That was monumental on what they took from us.
Yeah.
That was a great man. And
so if somebody would have called me that afternoon, I might have signed a piece of paper.
Yeah.
I might regret it 6 months later, but
I bet not.
No,
not when you weren't handcuffed.
Yeah, if they turned me loose.
Because to me, I think that's probably the most bitterness I think probably a lot of you guys probably have is when you knew you could do something, but they freaking strapped you with too much regulations and wouldn't let you.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that had to be the most frustrating for whether you're a cop or whether you're military. It's like, we can end this.
Yeah.
We can end this shit right now if our government would let us.
Yep.
And now you got somebody that's letting them.
Yep. And they're doing a fine job from what I see on TV.
I've heard the border has been, at 1 month it was zero.
Yeah.
0 crossings. I've seen in certain places now where crime's going down. D.C., I heard, cleaned up quite a bit.
How that works. And they said this morning, I read that they raided the Antifa camp there in Portland and took all their supplies, and so they all packed up and went home. If you're dedicated to the cause, because I'm going to tell you what, a lot of Afghani camps were raided by the military, but they didn't pack up and go home. They were committed to their cause to fight us. You go into Portland, you take away their bottled water, their little get high drugs and all that, they pack up and go home. How committed to protesting ICE are they? Somebody's paying for that shit.
Especially if their funding is cut. That's what I was going to say.
All their supplies got taken. They're not going to sit there and go without food and water and protest their cause because they don't care. It's all funded.
Why do you think that those states are allowing that to happen? Why do you think that states are fighting ICE? Why are they fighting the National Guard? Why are they fighting Trump coming in there to clean up the streets and try to make peace and law and order?
Because it's going to show the rest of the world that all these Democrats are just keeping it going to fund their pockets and so they can keep pushing all that bullshit down our throats.
So you mean like the homeless that California, all they paid for and they didn't, and it increased? So you're saying those policies don't work?
No, Not at all. Not at all.
How many billions did they spend on that railway or whatever that never even got built?
I have no idea.
It's wild, isn't it?
But it's money. It's amazing where all this money goes to these
and they keep voting for it.
Non-government organizations that never have done a thing for the people they're supposed to be working for.
I tell you what, man, there's been a lot of it feels like a lot of curtains getting pulled back even more this time around. Trump did a good job the first time where we kind of started like, okay, is there something to that? Now we're actually getting to see it.
And I know some guys that right now that are working every day and not getting paid.
I was going to ask you how much has this been affecting some of the guys now with the government shutdown?
Some of them it's affecting, but the ones that understand the broad picture are like, we're going to get paid. It's going to be tough until we do, but we're standing in our line. I'm not calling in sick. I'm not going home. I wrote with some of them this weekend that are still working for the government, and they're like, man, I'm good. I'll make it.
How's the morale?
Depends on who they are.
Yeah.
If they're the little whiny ones that are doing it because they think they're owed everything, yeah, they're bitching. Yeah. The ones that are doing it because they came out of the military and now they're working for the government and because they
feel like now they have a cause and that they're
like, it's coming.
They're doing something. Yeah.
Because if he caves, then all these illegals are going to get their insurance, going to get these dang cards and all this money again, and we'll be all right. It's going to come down here.
It's one of those, it feels like the short-term pain for a long-term success.
Because they've 12 times now voted it down just to pay the military and the federal workers.
I've heard some guys have stepped up and offered money.
Yeah, they said it was an anonymous
some billion.
$30 million or something to pay for this. So somebody out there sees it the same way we do.
Yeah.
They're like, I'll fix this. Take my money and pay those guys, and you can pay me back when you open the government.
Mm-hmm.
Business decision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, taking care of our own.
Yep.
That's what it looks like to me. Was I know when you were wanting to retire, you were so ready.
Oh, I was.
Man, they had you felt like handcuffed. Now seeing that, it's got to make you pretty happy though. Seeing what they're letting him do now, and the fact of too is, now I see he's going to Chicago. He's going to some of them other places, and man,
hopefully
that's what I'm wondering too. Is it's the resistance is happening? Is that because we know they're all politicians?
Oh yeah.
So is the fact of you come in here and show us how easy it is to clean this up that's going to make us look bad?
Exactly.
And that is wild that is voted in and accepted, and that there's no accountability for that kind of shit. That blows my mind as a civilian.
And I think 90% of America agrees with him. They're just, for whatever reason, scared to say it. I mean, I don't know. Who you going to piss off?
That's what I say. We don't see it here.
We don't see it here.
We don't see it here in this bubble. So
you don't have to tolerate it, folks. You don't have to tolerate it. I mean, if you want to, that's fine. That's your choice. But you don't have to tolerate it wherever you're at.
Yeah. Yeah, especially parents, man, having your kids in some of those places, man. It's even Pete Hegseth the other day was talking about, and I love that guy, man. I've gotten where I really like that guy.
He's leading from the front up there in the old SecDev.
Mm-hmm. I like
Secretary
that.
of War now.
Secretary of War.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like what he's been doing. And he was even talking about the other day, getting your kids out of public school, and if you can afford it. But like I say, that's where we kind of ate crow when we live here, because our public schools are freaking
there's 40
amazing.
Kids in all of Claire's 7th grade. By Christmas, we know everybody down here. It's like being in a private school because the communities are. And I don't know, most people.
Mine's a K through 12, so it's almost like a private school in a way.
And ours have 2 buildings, 2 different schools, but it's still small. And each independent school district in Texas, people don't understand that. Like, my daughter was out of school today. Your son wasn't, but it's just teacher work day for us, not for y'all. But they do their own thing, but they're all trying to do the right thing, or at least down here.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, I truly believe it. Creed Man made the honor roll last semester. Every teacher he had was all there cheering,
good,
crying. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, and like I said,
to me that's care. They care for him.
Claire started school down here in August, and when I went to substitute my first day, I pulled in the back lot, and the principal saw me. She said, "Mr. Bolick, you subbing today?" I said, "Yes, ma'am. First tour of duty." She said, "Well, come on in. Let me get you started." And I said, "Oh, thank you." And she's like, "Oh, we just love Claire to death, and she does this." And I'm like, "She's been here 8 weeks now, and y'all just love her to death."
Yep.
It's that tight and it's that small. I like it.
Yep. Hello, everyone. I want to personally invite you to be a part of something bigger than rodeo. The Liberty and Loyalty Foundation is dedicated to supporting our military first responders and their families through life-changing Western experiences. Our biggest event of the year, the Hillwood Land and Cattle American Hero Celebration, happens this November, and we need sponsors to help us keep making an impact. Please contact us if you can help. Ropers, we have money added in every roping. Come enter the Open, the Military First Responder Pro Roping, our Ranch Rodeo, the Military First Responder Roping, which is open to all military first responders, current and former, November 7th through the 8th at NRS Arena in Decatur, Texas. Buy a table and attend our gala November 8th at the Decatur Convention Center, and then following day, head to Cowtown Coliseum for the Imus Ranch Quarter Horses NFR Showdown and Military First Responder Short Round, November 9th. It's patriotic, powerful, and full of grit. To get involved or give back, visit libertyandloyaltyfoundation.com today, because we may not know them all, but we do owe them all. God bless. Yeah, and it's hard to explain, too, I think, for a lot of people, because I think, in a way, this is a place that never changed. And even for here, it's changed a lot.
I'm sure it has.
You know what I mean? But the fact that, other than I haven't seen a shotgun in no one's window at school yet, or a rifle, in the back window, I haven't seen that quite yet, like I did in high school.
Yeah.
But for the most part, that's about it. Yep. It feels like how we remembered school.
Most
where you walked to school and you never thought about a school shooting.
Nope.
So.
And I'm sure they have their little issues here. Like, I think vaping's kind of a big deal.
Oh, there's always something. There's chewing and smoking back when I was there.
Exactly.
That's all the same shit. Just in different
that's the worst
disguise.
thing I got to worry about.
Yeah.
We're going to fight that battle.
Yeah, I think what was the Big Johnson T-shirts. Remember those?
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah. Yeah.
Liquor in the I forget exactly.
Those were
poker in the back or whatever those things were. I remember that. Those were an issue back then. Yeah, but I'm sure it's all the same thing, just in a different disguise.
Yes.
Well, man, we're glad to have you here. So glad that moved down here, man. It's been fun and cool to see you getting to do some different stuff too. Or it's because you talked about retirement. So many guys that they struggle with retirement, and I think if a guy stayed stagnant, that's when I think a guy's gonna have to worry about it, huh?
I did. The first couple of weeks was like being on vacation, and you get your honey-do list done, and then you're like, okay, I'm done. What do I do now? You start getting bored. You start missing the adrenaline.
I was wondering about that.
No, I missed it a lot. There were days, you're like, all right, I just want to go, where's the nearest gym or jiu-jitsu class? I want to go fight or do, I haven't been in a fight in a while. I'm like, I really like to get in a fight. And you're like, well, I can't even get mad enough down here in Stevensville to start one with somebody, because nobody makes me mad. Nobody cuts me off in traffic. Nobody's gigging me, blowing the horn. And I'm like, okay, well, we're just going to relax. And then once the house started getting going, and now that the roping pen's built and everything, my transition could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
It was worse. And then I've had good people around me, you and Ken, and getting to go out there with the boys took up, a month of the summer, and Cody and Hunter and all, they all just made it such a good time. And now we stay in touch. And like, I went down to Clay Logan to watch them all rope. And
yeah, how cool was it too when we got to go up there to fight the grip?
You took me to the grip. Yeah, that was, always wanted to go out there to Hereford and see that one. And
yeah, it's fun to get to see the guys again, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's what I enjoy that one myself, and the fact that I went to South Texas, that showdown down there. Bart Hutton puts on a great jackpot down there. 60,000 added in the Open. Phenomenal jackpot.
I stay in touch with those guys. Like, we saw Cody down at the Clay Logan, and him and Aaron was talking about, he's like, you never did come get your cats. And I'm like, so I end up at Cody's house catching feral cats, and we got a trap with hot dogs. We're catching cats. And then he's like, I really want you to have this one. So he takes a piece of bellin twine, makes a loop, and heals a feral cat by the hocks, up around the belly, and picks it up. And I'm like, nobody believes this is really happening. 8-time NFR qualifier, we're roping cats with bellin twine. He's catching them.
Yeah.
And then, going over and seeing White.
Got to stay sharp.
Oh, yeah. It's just, these guys are just great guys. They're just down to earth. Now, when they're out there on the road, it's business.
Mm-hmm.
Get home, is saddle up horses, rope every day, and just have fun. And yeah, good times.
Yeah. Yeah. What, you getting ready for the event, our hero celebration coming up here in Decatur?
I'll drag my arena here in a couple of hours and rope from now till next Tuesday morning when I head up to Decatur.
Yep, I've got lessons all week, and then I took mine down there to Bart Hutton's roping, and man, my horse did good. He took it good, and so I was excited about that. So he's got a few days off, then we'll kind of bring him back in. But yeah, I'm going to rope there too, and kind of try to set it up for the NFR guys as well, where it's added money for there too, but then also for the guys that didn't make the NFR, trying to get money added there for the guys like Cody Snow and the guys that didn't make it, the Braves, just where there's added money for them as well, and a chance to make the NFR showdown. And so, those are all things that, like how I try to set it up, just kind of for everyone, but also as, to be able to have a chance to pay your credit cards off from having a bum year. And then, then to get them there, which is so cool now to see where so many guys now, like where you guys are in first name basis with a lot of the guys.
Oh, yeah, like a bunch of them. Like, I met Chad Masters a couple of years ago through you. We went over to his house and we got to talking. I'd see him at every rodeo. And now every time we're up at 377, we stop Chad and Luke. And it's just, I don't know, I just kind of been accepted down there now. Just
it's cool camaraderie amongst them now, huh?
Running around down here, living the dream, really. The way it couldn't have gone any better than how I planned it.
Yeah, no, I think this year's event's going to be, I'm excited about it. We made a few changes just because of, let me see if I can pull the flyer up here. So this podcast will be coming out the Tuesday of our event. So
okay,
it'll be fun, kind of a kickoff before the event. But so we changed it. We just kind of made a small little change for the military first responder roping. And so it's it's always been a slide, 10.5 slide, but we added it used to be a second and a half to 2 seconds. And so we also made it to where we're trying to keep the guys, man. There's so many guys that are coming, man. Some of them just getting started and trying to make it to where it evens out. So I think we have an 8.5 incentive. We have 67,500 added. 30,000 added to first place, and that is Creative Science and Signature Equine, and they added 15,000 apiece. So to win it, it's going to pay 30,000 a man. Martin Saddles, fully tooled Martin Saddles.
I saw a picture now.
And Legend Tack and Silver buckles again. Going to be beautiful. Short round's going to be at the Cowtown Coliseum again, where you run your short round steer and basically an NFR type setup.
I'm over in that building. I got to change that.
You're going to change it. I know it. But we also kind of wanted to have a little bit of incentive for, like I say, a lot of the guys are just getting started in this event. So we put 60,000 added, 30,000 for first and another 30,000 from second to 15th. That way it pays all 15 holes. We wanted to hold an 8.5 incentive. So then that way we'll add 7,500 to the 8.5 incentive team that doesn't make a short round. We're trying to just make sure that, like, there's a lot of guys, man, they're just kind of getting into this, man. If they can get them a couple of them, nabbed up, then there's a chance for them to still be able to get something out of it. Trying to even up as much as we can, because I still feel like the cream's going to rise to the top it comes to the first place, top 15. And so those will be the few of the things that we're going to kind of dabble with this year, but we're going to make it to where we're going to pre-enter this roping. And so if you're there for Friday to watch the Open, roping the Military First Responder Pro roping, or the Ranch Rodeo on Friday, you can pre-enter the Military First Responder roping.
Okay. And
if there are guys that are not going to be there, that are coming in on Saturday morning, you can pre-enter. So this will be the last day when this podcast comes out. So the books will open on Friday, but there's an online entry site. So you can go through Global Handicap, and the entries will open on Monday, November 3rd, and they'll close Wednesday, November 5th. So they'll be open for a couple days at 1 p.m. on November 5th, so Wednesday. So this podcast will drop on Tuesday. The next Wednesday at 5 or at 1 p.m. Central Time, it'll shut down. So then that way, if a guy can't make it in to pre-enter, you can still enter online. So I think that should make it to where everyone's got a chance to get entered. So, because we got a busy day on Saturday.
Yeah.
We got to start this thing. There's almost 400 teams last year. So we're going to start at 8 a.m. this year on Saturday with a Military First Responder roping, because our gala is that night. That's where the money's raised. That's where we help, with getting homes built and everything that we're doing, and also our back number ceremony, which is such a big hit, I think, because that was a big deal for us.
Oh yeah,
Rodeoing, and I think to be able to get in time to be able to have that to where it's a special event. Got to get this thing rolling. So I think that's going to be pretty fun.
Oh, it always is.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to get there.
I think we had $97,500 added to the military ropings.
Wow.
I think next year we just need to find another 2,500 somewhere and just call it
$100,000.
clear, smooth hundy. So next year that will be the goal. We want to make sure we have a hundy.
Okay.
But between the military first responder pro roping, military first responder header and healer, it's 10,000 apiece, so there's 20, and then you got the 10,000 added the ranch rodeo, and this year the ranch rodeo we got a guy that called the other day after I did that podcast on Let's Frickin' Rodeo, and he called and said that he wanted to donate a hunting down in South Texas.
Awesome.
So we may be able to do that for prizes. I'm still negotiating with him right now, but we might be able to put that for a first place prize during the ranch rodeo.
That'd be all right.
Place go down there and hunt. So working on that. So that might be another added incentive for the ranch rodeo. And then $67,500 in the military first responder roping.
More than I've ever roped for.
Martin saddles in the military first responder pro roping for the headers for the military first responder healers.
Yeah.
And the heading and healing. So yeah, man, the saddle's going to be cherry this year.
Yeah,
Shano's done some work getting that created.
Good.
So
they look good. Ready?
Yeah,
for
that one's going to be fun. I'm excited about it.
Me too.
I'm really excited. Man, I'm excited to rope in it too. But we had Bobby Joe. He's going to produce it and take care of all the moving parts during the roping. Because, man, that's one of the things that's so hard is to actually be present and be able to talk to everyone that comes in to where this will alleviate that. So be able to be present there at the event is going to be nice.
Yes, sir.
So I feel bad for the guys once talking, you're freaking running back and forth trying to get payouts and steers are out or whatever. So this is going to be nice to be able to just sit and cheer the guys on, man, and just be able to watch and be a fan. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I'm ready to rope.
Man, I wish that Hondo would
I know.
Hondo Rodeo, man. It's been tough to get our NFR guys there, but a few of them, man, have been looking like T. Wade and Thorpe and Colby Payne. Man, they're chartering. They're going back and forth. So, man, that's pretty cool, man. Some of these guys.
That says a lot there.
Mm-hmm. Some of these guys are making it work, so that's been pretty cool. And then AQHA, their world show threw one on Sunday on us, so Joseph won't be there, and so I'm kind of bummed out. Some of those guys won't be able to come. So.
Yeah, those other bigger organizations ought to just stay away from Veterans Day.
It'd be nice if they kind of understood this event does do a lot of give back. If we could kind of move some things and work together.
To see those guys come because it is such a good time with them.
Yeah,
I mean they treat us like.
So John Kelly's podcast ain't dropped. We did one last week.
I've been looking for it.
It is gonna. What is today? Monday.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it'll come out tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
So yes, he had a good one, man. The other day we were talking about when that military first responder pro roping was outside that one year.
Yes, that was my first year.
Yeah, that was cool, man. That was so cool. I was telling man how cool that was, and he's like, "You remember you roped with me?" I said, "I remember we roped out there."
Yeah,
and I said, "I'm sure I probably handled one bad for you." He's like, "Well, I did get a leg." I said, "Oh, I'm sure I handled him bad." He goes, "Well, I was going to mention that." He says, "Now I kind of see a little bit of what Joseph Harrison talked about, how easy it is to rope a leg behind you."
There we go.
Oh, man, I died laughing. It was freaking love. Like, I got to tell Joe, I should have called him on the podcast, but I called him right after that. He goes, "Gosh, dang, you tell Big John to give him a big hug for me."
Right.
It was funny, man. So, yeah, we got to get those guys back in there. Once we get that, man, it's gonna be rank. Every once in a while, we got to go through some of the juggling of when things get stacked over the top of us. But it'll
about some money too.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it for the military and first responder guys too is just such a small percentage you hear about. But man, just to remember that this is no one's getting paid on this.
Right.
And the fact of this is a give back to you guys because sometimes, man, guys get a little bit carried away on the expectations and then almost a little entitled on some of the things that go on, man. And a lot of this, I think they're losing perspective of what the guys are trying to do for them, and almost when they turn into team ropers. Team roping sometimes can get the best, but because it's been amazing what this organization and what this team, the ops team and the ambassadors and everyone that's been working all year long to get this thing going, man. And none of them are paid. And, to be able to have an event, to be able to make something this special kind of happen, that guy can lose sight of that, how good this organization has done, and the team now that has selflessly been doing such a good job to get this event going. And it's going to be cool. The Cowboy Channel are live this year. It'll be awesome.
Last year,
I can't remember if it was live or if it was taped delay or not. But
was it? Okay.
I can't remember, but I know I heard this year it's live. So
awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be cool, man.
X Factor doing the
X Factor is going to be there during the roping, man. They've been awesome every year, and so. Yeah, it's getting close. I think I've been texting everyone the same thing twice, just trying to go over everything, because I forget that I've already asked before. But
I got my guys set up. We're
nice,
ready to handle all the cattle and stuff for your clinic.
That's going to be fun. So, well, man, I appreciate you.
Thanks for having
coming
me
on again, man. It's been a heck of a.
You must have ran out of podcast royalty to call me.
Oh, no, man. I thought it was pretty cool to be able to see, from the first time that you came on, and, to be able to see now when you came from, North Carolina to Stephenville, Texas. Now you've been out there rodeoing, and, it's a lot within the last year and a half we had you on. It's a pretty cool story.
Well, I had a plan long before I retired of how to transition, how to keep myself from going crazy. And it had to do with Texas, cattle. Roping wasn't in the picture then. 21, I met you. We started this thing. Roping came into the picture. So I changed my plan just a little bit. Then I changed my location just a little bit.
A little bit. How many thousand miles was that?
Just a little bit. And then I retired January 1, and today, as of now, my house everything's finished. We can move in our house now, and everything's done. My wife's retired. She's got to go back one more time for a couple of days, and it's done. In less than a year, I stuck to my plan. I stayed true to what I was trying to do, and it's all done. And God had a lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of friends down here, you and Ken, a lot of people had a lot to do with it. And here we are.
Yep.
And
it's been fun.
I'm going to ride it till the end.
Oh, man, it's been fun. Been enjoying having you guys down here. And I can't wait till the kids get old enough and be out there shooting. And
oh, yeah. I said I had to build a range. It's kind of like you when you retired from roping. You're like, I don't really want to rope anymore. I don't want to shoot anymore. But if somebody wants to come to me and say, hey, I want to shoot, then we're going to go shoot.
It was a lot of the same conversations, wasn't it?
Yeah, sure is.
Yeah, like, you going to that rodeo? No, man, I'm good. Yeah. I'm good. I've been to plenty of them.
You want to go shoot? No, not really.
Exactly. Kind of want to get away from it for a second.
Go rope.
Exactly. Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you coming down and loving having you down here, man. It's been great. And
appreciate you, and buddy.
Yeah, we need more guys like you down here. So it's been great that seeing a lot of that community with the military and first responders starting to head this way, and it's been awesome. So
it's a good place to be.
All right, man. Love you, brother, and
love you too. So.
Here we go going into Euro celebration. So
I got to go redeem myself.
That's right. We got Sunday. We got Sunday to get on.
Somehow make sure I draw Hunter Cook for the pro-am.
That's right.
We got something to redeem ourselves with.
That's right. Anyone wanting to get involved, or wanting to enter, any more information on entries, check out Liberty and Loyalty Foundation Facebook page, the website. Going to be all kind of auction items on there. I'm going to start throwing some of my NFR gear in there on the auction again this year. And man, there's all kind of stuff on there. It'll be online. Man, there's merchandise, caps, sweatshirts, T-shirts, any way you want to help support. Whether it's donating, whether it's sponsoring, is check out the Liberty and Loyalty Foundation website, and there's all ways you can get involved. And man, this is the Western industry's ways of being able to give back to the men and women that fought for our freedom, whether it was in our streets to keep it safe, or whether it was out of this country right here to keep us safe from outside foreigners coming in. So, man, we appreciate all the sacrifices that all the men and women have made, and this is our way for the industry to give back. So anybody that appreciates what we're doing and wants to be involved, man, we'd love to have you. So Ryan, appreciate it, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Let's get ready to go kick their ass this weekend, man.
Buddy. We're going to.
Right on.